What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Reality Kingdom, where we put the real in reality or whatever. Period. I'm your host, Pharaoh. We're joined by one of hosts, Lee, and the wonderful, legendary Hannah Whitecoat Chaddha. Hannah,
That's Dr. Chaddha to you.
Oh my god. First of all, you guys making Whitecoat my middle name is sending me. Second of all, I saw the video that you guys did. I think it was a couple months ago, and I want to say you went back and you talked about each cast.
Oh,
Is that? Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm remembering that
the
correctly,
new
right?
era. We did the new era.
Yes, you guys ranked all of the players, or at least you gave your thoughts on each player, and I thought that was so funny. I can't remember exactly what was said, but I was like, they're hilarious. And listen, they tell no lies. I think one of you was like, mother, daughter. No, why is that so true? That is so true.
Please,
Oh
we were literally okay. That podcast. That's when you were here. I think Lee was with me physically when we did that podcast. So we were having a holler.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. No, but I agree, because I think one of you said, I don't think Hannah would even consider herself to be a mother, and I said
That
no,
was Lee.
absolutely, because I've said that time and time and again. The cookout is legendary. Tiffany is legendary. Xavier is legendary. Everyone else can be legendary in their own right, but I recognize, as a big fan of the game and as a big fan of this show, that I have potential. I don't think I fully tapped into it. But if you were to bring me back when I'm like 27, 28, I definitely think I would have what it takes at that point.
It's gonna be over when Dr. Chaddha goes back into that motherfucking house. But let me tell you, don't humble yourself, Hannah, because baby, you're definitely one of the main girls of the cookout. The girls,
there are only three.
You know what?
The big three for sure.
And you're not one, and you're not two.
Stop it. No, honestly. I think there's things that exude past the season. I think within the season, there's a perception and a perspective. And then after the season, there's also a perception and a perspective. And honestly, like you exude past all of it. Like you just are it. Don't even worry about it, queen. Period.
Well,
and you don't have to be mother, because you're doctor.
No.
I know that's right.
Wait a second. Actually, I'm stealing that from now on. And you want to know the crazy thing? This is so just offhand and random, but you know how Leah from BB26 and Evil Dick recently got into it on Twitter? They were going back and forth. Tell me why I have been praying for someone to start a fight with me. Do you know how many years I've been going after Christmas? Time and time and again.
You have something ready? You got an argument ready or something? Why are you wanting to? What's happening?
I just think it would be a lot more interesting, because no one ever instigates anything with me. No one ever tries to provoke me. And so I was really inspired by seeing Leah and Evil Dick go back and forth. And I have really been tweeting about Christmas, like just disparaging things about Christmas for years and years. And I met Memphis at Hearts of Reality in Florida, and he went to hug me, and I was like, "Why are you hugging me? I don't like your wife." And he was like, "Oh, ha ha ha." I was like, "Why doesn't anyone take me seriously?"
I guess she can respond because she's in jail, so you probably been able to. She's likely locked up in the back of a police car, I fear. So yeah,
dang, I'll send her a letter.
Yeah, you would have to. Maybe. But yes,
JP is crazy.
We're here to talk about Big Brother 27, week 5. Baby, these house guests don't know what the fuck. Excuse my language, Hannah. Excuse my language. I know you're a very demure, kind woman. But these house guests don't know what the fuck going on. They don't know left from right, from up from down. They're acting a fool. So we're going to have to get into it, honey, because, girl, what is going on?
It's been a lot. It's been a lot.
I'm genuinely confused.
I did want to ask a question, though, because thankfully my good sister Ashley is still in the game. Okay. And Hannah, we know you know everybody and their damn mama. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the background on this? How do you know Miss Ashley Hollis?
Yes. Okay. So this is something that I've spoken about kind of here and there. It's not something that I've ever posted on Twitter, posted on Instagram, just because I want to be mindful that this is Ashley's journey.
Right.
I think it's really cool that other people get to support her along with myself. And I love seeing just the love and the warmth and the embrace that she's getting on social media. But at the same time, I don't want it to become, oh, Ashley is playing Hannah's game, or what Hannah thinks is what Ashley thinks. Like, I just want her to have her individual experience on Big
Right.
Brother. So that's why I've really tried my best to keep it in. But at the same time, like, you can't help but root for the people you love. And now I have someone I love in the Big Brother house. So to speak and elaborate a little on my relationship with her, Ashley and I have known each other since we were 3, because we started at daycare together, and then we did preschool, and then we did elementary and middle school together. And we were the only the only 2 Black girls in our grade in elementary school. And people have commented on the fact that Ashley and I do resemble each other, like physically at times. And as children, we definitely took that and ran with that, because we do look kind of alike. And we were also the only 2 Black women in our grade. So we just told everyone we were related, and we definitely did like keep up that lie for years upon years. And then I ended up going to a different high school, so we kind of fell out of touch because I moved away. But then she ended up going to Loyola Marymount for undergrad in college, which is where I did grad school. And then she came to Georgetown for law school, and then I came to Georgetown for med school. So we, I guess, quite recently reconnected, maybe when I was like 22, like 21, 22, shortly after Big Brother. And Big Brother is something Ashley has always loved, and she watched my season, was very into it. I really appreciated the support from her. So yeah, she gave me a call a couple of weeks before she left, and I was like, whoa, okay, this is a bomb to drop on someone, but let's just make sure that mentally you are where you need to be. Who even cares about the game? I just want to make sure that she's happy and she's healthy throughout this experience and after the fact. So, yeah, that's kind of the history of me and Ashley. But she has always been so authentically herself. She has always been intelligent, analytical, but also like aloof in a very loving, endearing way. She's so funny. Like, she hosted my birthday party last year. And I ended up inviting like family members, friends from reality TV who live in like the DMV area, a couple friends from home, as well as friends from school. And after the party, I was like, okay, I'm going to go home because I'm really tired. I'm exhausted. Why do I get a text from Ashley at 4 o'clock in the morning? She's with my classmates at like another bar. She was like, Hannah. Ashley, what is
That's
going
so
on?
Ashley.
Go to bed. But Ashley she's so funny.
She
so
is.
funny. She has always been like this. So
oh my,
say she is doing anything for the cameras, because this is her. Take it or leave it. But I love it, and she has a heart of gold.
Yeah, I love Ashley. I grew to love Ashley for real. I really did. But that's my sister now. I love her down. That's so interesting to hear that you know her
like
for
y'all
so
paths
long.
are so interconnected in that way. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I kind of live for that. But no, I definitely love me some Ashley. I will say at the first week I was like, Ashley, baby, what's going on? What's going on?
Oh my God.
Like, I was like, hold on, Ashley, control it.
Oh my God.
It. But over these last few weeks, I have really, really grown to love her so much. Like, first of all, she's so real. And she's so like unfiltered as well. Like, I just live for that personality, because it's like, baby, I don't care about what you're talking about. Let's get to the game. Let's focus on
the real stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. I love the way she clocks people left and right.
Yes.
And her reads are so
to their
accurate.
face, behind their back, wherever they will get clocked.
Her reads are so accurate.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, she
eats that
so
down.
Funny.
So Hannah, next question. How are you feeling about this season? You played BB23, you watched BB24, 25, 26. Now we're here. This is a very weird season, in my opinion. How do you feel about the season so far? Because
this season is nuts. BB26 was definitely like a feel-good, solid season. One of my favorite new era seasons. So I think this season inevitably was just going to have a lot to live up to. It had big shoes to fill. With them throwing in Rachel, I was like, okay, I don't know if this is going to be another BB19. I actually think Rachel is necessary, because if not, I think we would 100% have a Vinny, Morgan, Zach steamroll.
Right.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it, because it took Rachel to be able to clock that Vinny was in such a good middle position with everyone in the house. So I love the fact that Rachel's in there. From my perspective, again, I'm biased. I'm close to Rachel. We have a podcast together. So I think it's so cool that Rachel and Ashley get to play the season together. And also they're very closely aligned. Like, what are the chances? I don't think that these house guests are that well versed in how the game is supposed to work.
Right.
But that's what kind of makes it unpredictable. Because what do you mean Mickey sent home Jimmy? What do you mean Jimmy sent home Amy? What do you mean Lauren sent home Adrian? Like, these moves aren't really making sense, but they are keeping me on my toes. I also love the BB Blockbuster, because that's what keeps me tuning in on Thursdays. I don't know who's going to go home, and I would love to get into this week with you guys, but what do you guys think about this season in general?
Child, it's a mess. I do enjoy the fact that it is consistently entertaining and there's no really rigid anything. There's nothing, but that's also the same reason I'm kind of like turned off by it a little bit, because I think I like a structure. Like my neurodivergence, my ADHD, I don't know what it is. I need a structure to follow, especially because we talk about it. So I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, who? Even this week, like, I'm gonna be like, girl, what's happening? But I enjoy it, and I think by the end, I'll be able to look back and be like, okay, this was very fun. But also during, I'm like, girl, what? I feel like the SpongeBob meme. I'm just lost. Yeah.
Like the math all around you. You're like, yeah.
Yes.
I
feel like I don't hate the season as of now. I think I'm just like coping with the season in a way.
Okay.
Because I had my faves, Mickey, child. And the whole Mickey and Morgan of it all, that kind of just went out of left field. So I think after witnessing what happened last week, I'm now at like this stage of like, I'm just gonna enjoy the mess. It's messy. I was at one point scared that people that I enjoy, like Ashley, Rachel, even still Mickey and Will to a certain extent, like I was scared that they would just be steamrolled out by like this other side of the house. But because this game is so messy, because people continuously make terrible moves, it's like that's almost impossible. Like we're witnessing a season where girl Mickey Lee is still a contender after taking out her closest ally last week in a crazy ass HOH. Like I feel like anyone can still win this season, and I do find that kind of interesting. And saying what you said about the blockbuster, like I'm excited for this blockbuster this Thursday. This is going to be a big one. Last week was a big one. Like these blockbusters, like I just feel like imagine if this was something that been in the new era. Like imagine Christian having to go against a blockbuster in BB23. Baby, I would have never got that man up out of there.
We actually didn't need it on that. We didn't need it on that season.
No, that would have been so bad
on that season.
So bad.
But no, yes.
But it's something that I'm trying to attach myself to. And I don't know. I think I'm going to look back on this season and say, it was messy, but I like it. Like, it reminds me of how messy BB25 was, but as that season we departed, I think it kind of goes lower and lower in my ranks. I feel like if this has a good ending with a good winner, this will be a pretty good season.
Yeah,
I think so too. BB25 also, it was just so long, and remember they had those couple weeks where like people came back into the house. Exactly. I think that just at that point, BB25, it lost its momentum. I don't really think about it anymore. But love Izzy, love Jag, love Felicia, love Suri, love Mimi.
Diva.
But yeah, I agree with you. I don't know how I'm going to feel about this season in retrospect, but I do love the fact that we don't have a Cody Calafiori, an Xavier. I love the fact that we don't have a Jag. And what I mean by that is like, okay, this person is really good at competing and they have a decent social game. I could absolutely see them winning. At first, I kind of thought that would be Vinny or Zach, but they're not in a good spot right now.
Exactly.
And I think as long as Rachel is there, she will make sure that neither Vinny nor Zach wins. And so if you take those two out of the picture, I genuinely have no idea. Maybe Rylie, I would.
Oh God. Let's not even talk about that.
But so unfortunate the fact that he has probably one of the best chances right now. Like,
stop!
Yeah.
Let's get into the week because I don't want to hear nothing about Rylie again. They were in the chat talking about Rylie. I'm like, stop it! Let's get into this week. This week is a lot and nothing at the same time. It was weird. It was a lot and it was a lot of nothing, and it was a lot of something, and it was a lot of moving, but nothing really moved. Girl, who knows? But
the board kind of looking a little empty, girl. We getting through this season.
The board kind of looking a little empty, thank God. But this is what we have. This is what we have for the week. As a reminder, Ava won the head of household this week. She decided she's going to put up the men, and she nominated Vince, Zach, and Keanu for eviction. None of the men won the veto. Kat won the veto. She decided to not use the veto, and the final nominees of the week somehow are Vince, Zach, and Keanu. And that is where we're at currently with those three on the block, and we're going to head into the eviction in 2 days to see which one of them get evicted. Now, first, I do want to talk about this HOH competition because, y'all, I saw the episode and I watched the episode of them play the knockout HOH competition. Why the fuck were they asking for volunteers during the damn knockout HOH? Zach went up there and said, does anybody want to go? He volunteered himself. First, he volunteered himself when Rylie asked. And then he asked if anyone else wants to volunteer afterwards. He put Morgan, his closest ally, up against whoever the fuck Will. And now he's on the block. And then he didn't use his HOH. How did y'all feel about what the fuck they were doing during that? Because that was crazy. Gosh. Hannah, thoughts?
Yeah, part of me wonders, is that because Zach didn't want to piss anyone off? Remember, the game that he's been playing up till now is I'm in the middle of the house. No one quite knows who I'm aligned with. They obviously see that I've been getting close to Morgan and Vince. They know that I like Lauren, but I haven't drawn any lines in the sand at this point. And so I'm just going to keep it that way. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to save face. I'm going to ask for volunteers just like Rylie did. Honestly, that's what Vince should have done.
Right.
Because he ends up calling out Rachel and was it Ashley? Yeah, I think it was Rachel and Ashley. And then Rachel was like, okay, this is even more ammo that I need to get you sent home. Yeah.
Lee, what were your thoughts, if you have?
I mean, I don't really have many, honestly. It's not something that I was shocked by. I'll just say that.
Yeah, it's weird because we'll get more into Zach. Because Zach is just acting a whole fool. I don't know what was going on. It makes sense for everyone to play. If one person's playing passively during the HOH, makes sense for everyone. But it's crazy because Ava would never have won HOH if he would have just chosen people on the other side, because he won 3 rounds. It's like he won 3 rounds. You would have put her up against people. He kept choosing his own. People choose Kelley, chose Morgan, and it's leading to his demise. Like, everything this week just feels like how Zach went the fuck home. Like what he did in the HOH, what he did last week. Honestly, like every single thing. It's so weird. But of course, Ava wins the HOH, and then let's skip to this veto ceremony because everything else was pretty simple. Ava was very headstrong. She didn't talk any game with anybody but her main Apple Scrapples. She was gonna put up Ashley.
Wait, I was confused by that. I know they're not the closest personally, but I was shocked that she wanted to do Ashley instead of Zach. Like, are you not aware that Ashley is a number for you and you are a number for her? Like, where do you think you lie in this house, and where do you think Ashley lies? Because to us, the audience, it's very obvious, but it seems like these people just don't have very much self-awareness when it comes to their positioning in the house and who they're aligned with, which, like, how do you not know who you're aligned with anyway?
It's because the entire house is It's because the entire house is filled with emotional players. Like, at the end of the day, she doesn't personally like Ashley, so she won HOH and she was like, well, I'll just put up Ashley. It's the same thing that happened with Mickey and Morgan last week. They didn't like what they felt like Jimmy was doing, so they villainized him and then targeted him and made it make sense for their strategic game, even though it didn't make any sense. Like, I don't think that they're thinking logically at all. Even though I think that Ava is aware of the house structure, she just didn't give a damn. You know what I mean? Even this week, it would not have been a good thing to renom Morgan, because if you have Vince and Zach in the game, Morgan going home isn't beneficial necessarily, especially because she could be a number for you. But even that was emotional thinking. Like, honestly, Ava, I like Ava, but this was not necessary. It was the better HOH out of the people we've seen, but it wasn't like a spectacular HOH at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I do highly appreciate the fact that there are 3 men on the block. We know that a man will be going home, and all of these men have won competitions. So regardless of who goes home, I don't think it's going to be seen as a throwaway HOH. We're going to be getting we're going to be sending home, at the very least, a competitive threat in the game. And I just hope it's not Keanu, because I have turned into the biggest Keanu stan. He's
Oh,
so
I like Keanu too now a little bit. I really, really, really want Zach to go. I just feel like when you do the foolery, the fool gets the whatever the fuck the saying it. Go home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
I don't even know what you.
I don't. You know what the saying is. When the cat gets the bag gets the cat. That's not it either.
I think
y'all don't know the saying. Y'all talking about me. What's the saying?
No, my parents are not from this country, so I have
period. But yes,
my parents are from this country, and I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. So, I mean,
the clownery. When you act the clown.
Girl, that's what Monique said. See, when you do clownery, the clown come back to bite.
Okay, let's say that. That's what we'll say. So yes, the clownery is Zach, and of course, Ava put it on the floor. She said she nominated all of them. Zach was very upset that Ava told him he was staying, and then he got nominated. He was in the diary room acting the fool. He didn't say nothing to her face. He was closed, girl. Like it was gangster Zach in the diary room. I was like, hold on,
something like that. No, but he was also. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go. No,
go ahead.
Oh, you go. I was gonna say, he even in the diary room, he was like, and I will be using my power to save myself, even if I don't win the veto.
That part. No, but also something that gets me is whenever people are so shocked, floored, offended that they're being lied to. You lied straight to my face. First of all, Ava did not say you're safe for the week. She just said, don't worry about it. At the time, he didn't have anything to worry about because her intentions were to nominate Ashley. Yep. Things change in this game. Also, Ava, if you haven't spoken that much game to her, how in the world do you know where her head's at? How can you be so confident? But again, this is not church camp. This is not the congregation. You are allowed to lie in the game of Big Brother. You have to know what you signed up for. So it always just it's a little off-putting whenever people act like they're so entitled to your truth. Do you not know what you signed up for?
Right. Especially when they be lying themselves. Y'all are all playing this game, and I feel like that's like the self-righteousness that people get when they go into this game. Y'all are all in this experiment together. You are all signing up to play this game that is built on backstabbing and lying and not being truthful. You know what I mean? And you're playing for money. So it's to me, it's insane to even try to use any of those things to justify why someone doesn't deserve to win or why someone is, deserving of being an enemy or something like that. Focus on where your place is in the house and how does it affect you. I feel like that's what led to multiple moves this season that have not been good for people's game. Like Lauren taking out Adrian, Mickey taking out Jimmy. This is going to be a good week for Ava as far as a target of hers is going out. But I feel like even this week, her emotional view of the game led her not to make any strong connections with this HOH. And then even Katherine with the POV, I think in her mind, she's like, well, I don't really like any of them, so I'm not going to use the POV. And I just feel like you could have used that to build some social capital, to build some leverage in the game, to get another ally that you don't have. Hannah, I remember you won that veto, girl. You was holding meetings. You were talking to people. I was like, Hannah's the HOH for the day, period. Okay. Yeah. And I feel like that's so smart because you have power in this game. Any form you have it, you should use it. And I just hate that, it seems that everyone is just going with the emotional viewpoint and not thinking logically to help their game. Like I said, anybody can still win this season because I don't think anyone is playing that logically other than someone like Vince. But even Vince is an emotional player in the way he's going after Rachel and claiming people are bullying and claiming people aren't being nice and kind of sulking. You know what I mean? He's staying this week, most likely in any scenario. But not even necessarily because he's been campaigning. It's more so kind of what other people are doing. So it's I wish that everyone would just think logically. Please, this is not summer camp. This is a game for what, $250,000. It's quarter.
Yeah, it's
okay.
No, well, three quarters.
It's three quarters. Yeah. See, that shit don't make sense to me. 3 quarters. That don't even make sense to me. Whatever, child.
I did want to say the one person who I believe has actively been working on or actually there are 2 people who have actively been working on bettering their relationships. Rachel. Like whenever
Yeah.
Zach, for example, in the veto, I think we're going to see in tomorrow's episode, he has a punishment, and Rachel volunteers
Yeah.
because she wants to be chained to him for 8 hours, I think it was,
Mhm.
to get to know him better, to pick his brain a little. And that's probably going to be better for their relationship moving forward if Zach decides to stay in the house. Another person is Keanu. As loud, wrong, and delusional of a player as Keanu is, I will say he is always pulling people. He has
Yeah.
worked at rectifying his relationship with Rachel. I saw that he tried to pull Ashley into something the other day. So he's giving people a chance. People are giving him a chance. At first, I would have definitely said Keanu's going home pre jury. Absolutely. But now I think he might stick around for a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
What do
I
you guys
love that y'all brought up like the rigidness and things of the players, because I feel like that's the theme of this week, especially with Zach. I think Zach has a concept of everything that's happening, and he's going based off of that in all of his decisions. Because we saw him say Ava didn't make this decision on her own; it was obviously Mickey, and well, he thought it was Rachel. He thought it was Rachel all fucking week, even though everyone else is like, she didn't even really get to talk to Rachel. She talked to Mickey and Will, and he was like, well, it's either Mickey and Will or it's Rachel or da da da. He just assumed that Ava was convinced to put these nominees up, which was probably it was kind of a wrong assumption. She said, hey, it is what it is. Hey, frankly, this is what it is. This is what it is. And frankly, she said what she said. And he didn't know that, because he's thinking in this such rigid mindset. And that leads to his decision with the veto. He had an assumption that he was safe this week, regardless of who he was sitting with, because he assumed people were targeting Vince, which some people are. And he assumed people hate Keanu, which people used to hate Keanu. But the current state of the house is that Zach is the main one who's getting evicted. Ashley hinted to them to him about this. Morgan has been kind of being coy about it. Whole time she's been thinking about evicting him too. So he's sitting here going based off of very limited information, and he in his mind is kind of deciding, even though he's heard people say it's 50-50, he still decided to not use his power to veto himself. He claims he didn't want Morgan to be the renom or Lauren to be the renom as a reason. Baby, are you Morgan and Lauren, or are you Zach? Like, whose life in the game needs to be saved? I'm wondering. But that led to him not using it, and I really think it's a mixture of passivity. He doesn't want to make any waves, which is his consistent issue in the game, and then also him being so cocky. I think he's overly confident. I think he feels like, I'm not a floater, Ava's a floater, she's not doing shit. Ashley doesn't know what she's talking about. So when Ashley says it's 50-50, he doesn't hear anything she's saying, because he doesn't value Ashley's opinion. When Ava says, I put you up on the box, because frankly, he doesn't believe in frankly, because he doesn't value Ava as a player. He thinks it's Rachel. He believes what Morgan's saying. Whole time your ass finna go home. Hopefully you can only pray. What do y'all think of the decision though? Hannah, what, huh?
I have said this for years. The second, and people have said this before me, the second you start feeling too comfortable in that house, that is a great indication that you're going home. So if I'm Zach, and the cookout, I think was maybe an exception to that, but if I'm Zach and I feel like, oh, I'm good, I don't have to use this veto. No, immediately my alarms, my red flags, my antenna are going up. Why do I feel so comfortable? And even if he wasn't maybe like the most likely candidate to go home as of Monday, I do think when you start feeling comfortable, you get complacent and you just no longer continue maintaining your relationships, building relationships, fixing relationships. Big Brother is a social game. It is at its core, it is all about how you balance relationships and use those relationships to get yourself to the end. So I I don't know why Zach did not save himself when he had the opportunity to. I think every single person on Twitter who watches live feeds was convinced that he was going to use the power. Can you imagine my surprise when I, got out of work for the day on Monday, check my phone, okay, who went up? Morgan. Wait, Zach is still on the block. I had to go back, and then I had to listen to him read the rules. But I think at this point he can't use it. Like, he had until right after the veto meeting, so it's going to be one of these three men who goes home. But can you guys kind of help me understand? Because I just got back from work right before jumping on. What changed between yesterday and today? Why do you guys believe that Zach is most likely going home over Vince? Because I'm looking at this board. only 5 votes are technically needed to send one of them home with Ava casting, the tie-breaking vote. So do you guys think that Rachel, Ashley, Will, Mickey, and Morgan are going to send Zach home? Because I think as of yesterday, it was Vince, no?
Right. Things have shifted even today. It shifted even today. Let's put a pin in that because I have a better slide for it after we're done recapping the week because this vote is so close that I want to literally break it down. So we'll put a pin in that. But yes. Zach acting a fool. He didn't use his power.
And I'm not shocked by the decision, honestly. Like this season has been bad move after bad move. So when it came back and it said he didn't use it, I was like, honestly, that's this season. Like you are going to have the obvious correct thing to do in front of your face. And you're just going to ignore it and do whatever the fuck you want. That's what every single person has been doing. This season. I feel like every single week has just been so simple, and there's always someone making it harder. So when he did not use it, I was like, "Child."
Of course.
Honestly, I was actually kind of happy about it because if Morgan had went up, I think Morgan would have went home. And I mean, you can say what you want about the people in the game. I still have certain people that I want to stay longer because I feel like it's going to, help make the dynamic interesting. And Morgan is one of those people. And I do think that Morgan would have went home if she was on the block, which would not have been smart for Mickey.
Anybody on that side, honestly.
That's the thing. By the end of this week, Morgan is against that side. So it's like at the beginning of the week, it would not have been smart. When they were wanting to put Morgan up, it wouldn't have been smart. Now it's like, I guess you could have got Morgan out, but that's after so much dissension that's happened over the last few days. I just think that I would have, if I was Ava, I would have worked on that relationship instead of trying to distance myself from it because Morgan is someone that I feel like is malleable. You know what I mean? But like I said, I was happy that it happened because I didn't want Morgan to go home this early. And I'd rather Vince, Zach, or Keanu go. Not Keanu. Yeah. I want Keanu to say the most. I really hope Vince and Zach leave. I really, really do.
I agree. Yeah. So the other big thing this week is involving, I don't even know about thing. It's a lot of stuff happening, y'all. I'm sorry. It's a lot going on in the feeds. But Mickey individually is kind of crashing out, and Morgan individually is definitely crashing out. Each of them individually are having a lot going on this week. We can kind of just talk about one or two things that they're doing and kind of try to summarize it because it's a lot. Starting with Morgan, I want to say she was going to be the renom this week if the veto was used because people are feeling some type of way about her. She spent damn near this whole week panicking, going back and forth because she wants to save Vince and Zach. That's her trio. That's her crew. She wanted to save both of them. And I feel like the main event that happened with that and Morgan, of course, everyone is noticing she's doing it. So that's a big thing for her game. Everyone's noticing she's doing all this extra to try to save Vince and Zach. People don't necessarily care for her because of that. People are starting to dislike her. But one major thing that occurred was she was having a conversation with Rachel about keeping Vince and Zach. That's what most of her conversations have been. But this one was pretty important because she was having the conversation, and Rachel in the past has been told by Ashley, I think, being messy, that the girls have been saying she's only going to be here for jury. And the girls being Mickey, Morgan, Zach, and Vince have been saying, oh, we want her for jury. We want her for jury. Rachel knows this. Morgan was having a conversation about saving Vince and Zach. And in this conversation, she was like, yeah, and you don't need to worry about Vince because he wants you till jury. And Rachel was like, I'm going to make it past jury. I'm letting you know that I will not be in the jury. I will not be in the jury, Morgan. Okay? Because the way you guys treat me, and I played this game 2 times, and Rachel loves saying she played this game 2 times. She loved 2 times. But she played the game before, and Rachel goes off on the girl, and then she starts spreading all the information about Morgan. She's pissed at Morgan now. This was a big blow up, and honestly, everyone's kind of been feeling this way about Morgan. Like, Morgan's kind of annoying people. She keeps talking about the wall comp. She keeps talking about how, oh, poor me, boo-hoo, I could have been nominated. Oh, my friends are on the block. Oh, why me, why me, why me? Everyone is annoyed with her. Rylie and Katherine are, Will and Rachel and Ashley are, Ava is, Lauren is. Everyone is really annoyed with the way she's acting. And this was kind of just the biggest moment of that. But thoughts on how Morgan's been acting? A fool, I'd say.
I mean, for me, I know that the internet is turning on Mickey and Morgan. I guess I understand why, because, the more they distance themselves from the internet's faves, the more people are going to kind of change their opinions of them.
Right.
And I know Mickey hasn't been the nicest to Ashley. I know Morgan, it's looking like she may put Ashley up if she wins power at some point in the near future. But even with that, you're not going to catch me rooting for a Black woman to go home. I think we've seen a lot worse on Big Brother. I don't understand why they're receiving so much vitriol. Well, I have my theories, but anyway, back to your point. How is Morgan playing? Morgan really needs to get a better handle on her emotions. I think a big part of Big Brother that people miss, because to us it looks like a game, to them they are living together. You have to be a tolerable roommate. I think we saw it in week 1. People were really annoyed about the shower situation. And as a viewer at home, you're going, how does this have any bearing on the game? Well, because they're living together too. That's part of it as well. You have to be a good roommate. And so if you're constantly crashing out, if you're talking people's ears off and, you're not letting them talk, if people are just listening to you wallow in self-pity, like that's not someone that you want to live with. So I think she just needs to reel it in. And guess what? This is very early in the game. She's only going to continue to lose allies and face more adversity. And then what? Like, you have to have better coping skills. Just in life, you have to have better coping skills. Whenever things don't go your way, you have to be able to recalibrate and you have to adapt. I think Taylor recently said this. The best adapter is the one who ends up winning. Morgan is kind of proving that if, something does not go according to plan and she doesn't get her way, she does not know how to handle that. And that is not someone I see going very far unless she's able to real quick.
Yeah. And I feel like she's shown that she's not someone that can pivot as easily. Like, I think she gets really tunnel vision on things and she kind of just goes with that. And she doesn't really take in new information. She more so just, if it doesn't fit what she's tunnel visioned on, she kind of ignores it for the most part. And the fact that she's dealing with people like Zach and Vince who have their loyalties to other people like Mickey, who is off her rocker and want to target her allies every goddamn day, she's not really in a secure enough position to be crashing out as easily as she does. She's a very emotional player, and it definitely comes out in the way she, I think, reacts to things. And it is something that people are noticing and they're getting tired of. And because she's not anyone's actual priority, I think it definitely leaves her in danger. And that's going to be a problem for her. Like, I think if someone like Zach leaves, it could open up her game, but I also could see it hurting her game because regardless of how we feel about the relationship, I do think Zach and Vince want her in their end game. Like, I feel like they would want her in their Final Four with Lauren, and then get her out. But it's like, so my fear for her is that if she were to lose Zach this week, that's kind of like a shield for her, someone that was slightly protecting her. And it also kind of breaks up this Mickey, Morgan, Vince, Zach alliance that in a way has been at the center of this game. So I can see the little bit of structure that she kind of has breaking down after this week if Vince or Zach leaves. Now, if Keanu leaves, she's kind of still in this like weird position where it's like people are saying your name, you're in danger, but no one is actually targeting you, which is weird. But it's like, it's so weird to like, I think, judge or rate any of these players because it really just depends on who wins the HOH to see who is going to even be targeted, Like, I think all of them are playing in a way that isn't the most optimal, but I can't say, oh, Morgan's definitely going home next week because she may not be. There's a lot of people who will win that would not put Morgan up, and there's 4 nominees every goddamn week damn near. So it's like, that's insane to think about.
And I'm excited to see Morgan, hopefully without Zach, because I do feel like her mind was so encapsulated with what he was doing and what he had going on. Even like the way she felt about Ashley, the way she felt about Lauren, and I don't want to get close to them, but I do want to get close to them because they're my enemies. And all of that will kind of like hopefully go away if Zach's no longer in the house. And I kind of remember how Morgan was week 1 and week 2. And I'm like hoping maybe that person can come back out now that these emotions that she has for this random man who don't want her can go away. But we will see. Also, we have Mickey doing the absolute fool. Multiple different things. The main 2 things I have is that she's trying to form a group and she's trying to leave Rachel out of this group. She doesn't trust Rachel anymore because Rachel's been giving her nasty looks, she says. She has made a lot of comments about Rachel, yada, 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 da, 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 da. She wants Rachel out of the group and she wants Katherine and Rylie to replace Rachel. She's offered this to Will and Ava. They were like, girl, what are you talking about? She's offered this to Ashley. She's like, girl, what are you talking about? She's tried to create a whole nother group with Keanu and Ava and Will and herself, without Rachel as well. And we'll get more into that a little bit later. But yes, she's doing all of that. And at the beginning of the week, she was campaigning heavily against Zach. She really, really wanted Zach to go before she wanted Keanu to go, and we'll get into that. And when she wanted Zach to go, Rachel ended up snitching that out to Zach. Zach now clocked that Mickey was trying to push against him. Now her game is kind of blowing up. Rylie and Kat don't really trust her that much because of the way she talks to them. Zach doesn't trust her anymore because she's been targeting him this whole week. Rachel doesn't really trust her anymore because she's trying to leave her out of shit. All of her shit is getting blown up. She's acting the fucking fool. I kind of probably have to just wait for my player rating with Mickey because everything she's doing is the fool, and that's just how I feel. She's doing the fool. Truly.
She literally changes her mind almost every single day as far as who she wants to target and who she wants to go after. It went from I want Zach out to I want Keanu. Now today there was a big argument between her, Morgan, and Keanu, and I think she's back on Team Keanu, and she now is fully against Morgan. And it's just so weird. Like, she switches her loyalty. It seems like every time she talks to a different person. Right. It's like, and I don't think she's necessarily being manipulated to change her mind. I think when she takes new information, she just completely changes her worldview. And it's like, you can't just continually do that. And you can't continuously keep calling out people for not respecting you in your game and expect people to respect you or your game. She's walking around saying how she's going to be in Final 2, bragging about who's going to be there with her. She's talking about who's going to be in my jury and things like that. And I think those conversations are important to have, but she does it on a level that's kind of condescending, and it brings people down, people that are her allies. You know what I mean? Like, I think that Rachel, Will, Ashley, and Ava, for the most part, wouldn't target Mickey, but I think that her losing their full-on loyalty and trust is not good because, baby, if you want to be in Final 2, who's going to vote you to win? Who's going to give you that respect in those jury votes? Like, it's not seemingly going to happen. And she's so obsessed with trying to make this relationship with Rylie and Katherine work, and it's like, baby, it's not going to work. They like, I think Rylie likes her. Katherine doesn't give a fuck about nobody for real. Rylie likes her, but it's like, it's not enough for her to be able to create an alliance with. It's not enough for her to be able to influence their vote. And that's what she tries to do. It's just a mess. It really is just a mess. Her gameplay is all over the place. And it got to the point where, like, I'm not even like shocked by anything that she's doing anymore. At this point, she's comedic relief. She's hilarious. Like, the way she switches, the way she turns on people, the way she argues with people. Honestly, I'm just gonna laugh at it for the rest of the season because I really don't think she's gonna go anywhere anytime soon. So it's like, girl, I'm just gonna have a good old laugh.
Okay, I think you guys summed it up
Period.
very well. I have nothing to add.
Period. And I do want to explain this little fight that happened because I feel like this was the other big moment that kind of shifted things around for this week. Like I said, Morgan and Mickey have been doing a bunch of extra shit, and both of them know they're doing the extra shit. Both of them have heard shit about each other, specifically from Keanu. Mickey went to Keanu about this new alliance she wants to make. Rachel doesn't need to be in it. Morgan's going to be at the bottom of it. And Keanu took that information and he told Vince and he told Morgan. So Morgan heard that Mickey was making an alliance and that she was going to be on the bottom of it. And she was like, girl, what the fuck is that tea? So she used that as a way to change Mickey wanting to take out Zach to Mickey wanting to take out Keanu. Because remember, Morgan wants Zach and Vince to both stay. So she needs many people wanting to evict Keanu. So she used that information for Mickey to change her mind and want Keanu out. And it worked. But Mickey said, I think Morgan just used that against me. I think she's using this information against me. So Mickey wanted to pull Keanu and call him out for this information. She did. And when she did, Keanu let him know, well, Morgan is the one who was telling me you were influencing this HOH, which has been rhetoric, not just from Morgan, but really everyone in the house feels like Mickey had influence on the HOH. And Morgan repeated that to Keanu. This made Mickey mad. So she pulled Morgan and called her out. There was this big kind of argument between Morgan and Mickey because they're kind of airing each other out for talking all the shit about each other. And they end up leaving that argument. Mickey literally walks out on it. And they end up leaving that argument with Morgan like, well, I mean, hey, if we don't need to move forward together and work together moving forward. Mickey's like, well, we don't need to move forward together working forward. And we saw them kind of disperse and scramble for other allies in a way. That's kind of what's happening this day on the feeds. It's like now Morgan and Mickey don't want to work with each other. They're scrambling for other allies. And Morgan had this comment where she's like, I want to reset my game, da 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 da. But yeah, that was like the last biggest moment. Oh, and Keanu ended up in a fight with them as well. Like they were all going back and forth. Keanu, Mickey, Morgan, they're all the same to me. Goddamn.
Keanu is so unserious to me because why is he always fighting someone?
Right. Every day it's Rachel one day, Mickey the other day, Morgan the other day. But
Ashley, Rachel, everyone.
Anybody. This leads into, I feel like, what we were talking about earlier, Hannah. Who the fuck are these people voting? So this is the chart I have. On the left, it's who's going to be evicting Vince. On the middle, it's who's evicting Zach. On the right, is who's evicting Keanu. We can talk about every scenario, but I thought it was very interesting that these are the people who, no matter what, are evicting this person according to today's feeds.
Well, so I don't know about Mickey and Keanu no more.
She said today she was evicted. She went from not wanting to evict him. After everything, she went back to wanting to evict him because they got in an argument with Morgan. So as of today, as of now, from my understanding, Rachel, Ashley, and will evict Vince no matter who he's sitting next to. From my understanding, Kat, Rylie, and Kelley will evict Zach no matter who he's sitting next to. And from my understanding, Morgan, Mickey, and Lauren will evict Keanu no matter who he's sitting next to at this moment. It can always shift. It could always shift.
Kelley, I thought Kelley now wants to evict Vince.
Now, that might be, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
I think Kelley is loyal. Kelley is loyal to Keanu for the most part. So I think if Keanu's next to either Vince or Zach, she would keep Keanu. I thought between Zach, I'm not 100% sure.
For a while between Vince versus Zach, Kelley had said she would want Zach go because she was angry with Zach. But she also told Rylie, I want to vote with you. So wherever Rylie votes, she told Rylie she wants to vote wherever Rylie votes. So I kind of just grouped her with them. But
Kelley be lying though. So
Kelley be lying. Except she's been really loyal to Rylie since Vince and Zach flipped that vote on them. So a part of me is like, I think she might actually be telling the truth. But let's talk about the other scenarios. If Keanu wins the blockbuster, we can leave the people who we think would evict Vince. We can kind of leave the people who we think would evict Zach. In this scenario, Morgan, let's do Mickey, because Mickey always wants, for some reason, Mickey has been walking around all week saying Vince needs to stay. I don't know what Mickey's relationship with Vince is for her to do that, but for some reason, she really, really wants Vince to stay no matter what. She kept saying that all week, and she's still saying that to this day. So in this scenario, she would evict Zach. Lauren would also evict Zach because she's closer to Vince. And I think Morgan had many discussions that she decided she would evict Zach as well in this instance. So if I had to assume, those people will be evicting Zach, and Keanu will also evict Zach in this scenario. He also doesn't like Zach. So even if Morgan doesn't vote with them, Zach is still going home. If Mickey maybe doesn't vote with him, which we have no reason to think that. Mickey has always said she wants Vince to stay. Honestly, I shouldn't even move her. And like you were saying, maybe Kelley. If maybe Kelley doesn't vote with them, they still have the votes. I guess it would have to be Kelley and Morgan, and then it would tie.
And that could send Vince home.
And that could be something. But from what I've read and what I've seen, Kelley really doesn't like Zach. And I think she really wants to vote with Rylie and Katherine. I think Zach is kind of dead if it's him and Vince. I think. I don't know, y'all. Shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think Riley's definitely closer to Vince. And so we know that Rylie and Katherine will be voting for Vince to stay. With Lauren, as you said, she has a final two with Vince, and her showmance with Zach is very much giving one-sided. Right. With Kelley, I am still unsure about. With Mickey, she changes her mind so frequently. I don't know where she's going to be come Thursday. With Morgan, though, I'm kind of expecting her to evict Vince.
I see that as well. I'm not going to lie. She claims all the things she claims, but I think at the end of the day, I would agree that she might evict Vince, honestly.
Which means that it could be a tie. It could be a tie. You don't think so?
I don't think so, only because she keeps bringing up the whole Lauren thing. She keeps bringing up how Zach would choose Lauren over her, and I don't think she thinks Vince would choose anyone over her. I do think on a friendship level, she trusts Vince more. And I think she feels like that's reciprocal, whereas with Zach, she knows Zach has other options. So I think if it came down to the two of them, she would choose Vince. Because even when Zach told her about the 10K power, I didn't see a reaction from Morgan being like, well, I have to go around and make sure Zach stays, you know?
Yeah, I was going to bring that
up. So I
too.
feel like she has already decided in her mind that if she has to choose between the two of them, it's going to be Vince.
Yeah, because for the girls who didn't know, on the live feeds, Zach finally told someone about his 10K power, and he told Morgan, and he said he's telling Morgan because she's his closest ally. I think he's telling her because he wants to make sure he locks in that vote, because he was touching on that leg when he was telling her. He was like, yes, you're my closest ally, I love you so much, da 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 da. But he did tell her about his 10K power, and Morgan's reaction, a part of me felt like it was a little guilt, because he said, I used it because I didn't want you to go up, and her reaction, she was like, she was shaking her head was down, she wasn't really looking at him, and usually she's enamored in everything he has to say, no shade. So it did seem like, ooh, is it giving you're actually not voting to save him? Because she didn't seem attached to him the way she usually is in that conversation. But we'll see. Now, let's say Zach wins the blockbuster. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. If Zach wins the blockbuster, of course, all of these people are evicting Vince. Now, Katherine and Rylie, from what I believe, are very close to Vince and would evict Keanu. Lauren would evict Keanu. Morgan, from my understanding, would evict Keanu. Mickey wants to keep Vince over everyone for some reason. She would evict Keanu. Kelley said she would evict Vince and that she's lying to Vince and claiming he would save her over Keanu. She told Keanu, look, I'm saving you over both of them because they flipped on us. I don't fuck with them bitches. Da 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 da. We know Zach would evict Keanu in this situation. So it's looking like 6-4, unless Mickey changes her mind, maybe. I don't see Morgan changing her mind. I don't see Lauren changing her mind. Maybe Rylie and Katherine. If Rylie and Katherine are like that.
Mickey should definitely change her mind, because Mickey knows for a fact that she has no in with Vince, Zach, and Morgan. She keeps talking about how this trio is a problem. Why would you keep them all in the game knowing damn well you're at the bottom of that structure? Like, and I understand that Keanu isn't necessarily the easiest person to work with, but Keanu doesn't have a structure. He doesn't have all of these allies running to protect him. Like, this could be your only chance to get out Vince. If she votes out Keanu over Vince, she is delusional. But we already know that.
I think my if I'm putting myself in her mind, I think it's because she keeps hearing things about Keanu this week, because
he has been talking shit about her. So I will give her that.
Yeah, multiple people have told her this week how Keanu has been saying all these negative things. So I think her mind is just stuck on the now. It's kind of like you said, every time she has a conversation, she's stuck on that. And every conversation this week has been about how Keanu is talking shit about her, and then she just argue with him. I think it's emotional, kind of like you said, like she's feeling this thing. But logically, why would you keep a trio of people who you don't trust, and you know they don't trust you? So you're spilling. So I think Vince would stay.
I really think everyone except maybe Lauren, Katherine, Rylie, well, and then obviously the trio themselves, would benefit from just a complete shift in the structure of the house. Getting rid of Adrian, that didn't do anything for the game. Getting rid of Zay, that didn't do anything for the game. Amy, you could argue like Rachel lost a number, so yeah, it did some damage to their side. Getting rid of Jimmy, I don't think it shook up the structure of the house all too much, even though he was a crucial part of Rachel and Ashley's game. So with that being said, I really want to see either Vince or Zach at home come Friday, because I am ready for just the infrastructure of the house to be shaken up. I think that's always very interesting as a viewer. And as I said, a lot of these people could benefit from that, except the trio themselves and the people who are very successfully playing the middle right now, and that is Lauren, Katherine, and Rylie. So I just hope that Mickey wakes up.
Now, if
I feel like a lot of people are saying that Keanu is also targeting Mickey, and I feel like I definitely understand that. It's just that she's lost Vince and Zach's trust as well, and I do feel like after today with the conversation with Keanu is someone multiple times we've seen his opinion swayed, his target swayed. I feel like at the end of the day, keeping this structure or this trio, Vince, Zach, Morgan, with their add-on, and Lauren, who isn't even an add-on, she's more of a trio with them than Morgan, it doesn't help Mickey in the long run. I feel like taking out Keanu here and keeping them in is going to get her, she'll go further, but like fifth, maybe? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if it was me, I would take the risk and just take out Vince.
Yeah, now, I agree with you.
Now, this structure, in my opinion, this is going to be the closest potential vote, I believe, is Zach versus Keanu. Because Rylie, Katherine, and Kelley say they would evict Zach in this situation. Rachel and Ashley said they would evict Zach. And then everyone else essentially have claimed they would evict Keanu. But Will maybe is lying. I think Will is lying and he would just evict Zach. Will has this weird, not even weird. Will has this personal relationship with Zach, and then Zach gave him a prize, a vacation at the veto, and he's basically seemed genuinely indebted to him in a way, and he claimed if he's on the block, he would save him. He could be lying, and Zach could just be going 6-4 in this scenario, or he could be telling the truth, and it could be a tie. But even if it's a tie, Ava would break it, and she would evict Zach. So I think even in this close vote, I can't see 6 people evicting Keanu in this scenario. I don't believe. I think Zach goes.
I do have a question. When was the last time in Big Brother that we got a tiebreaker? Because I can't remember.
Oh, that's T.
Well, with the exception of like Final 5.
Yeah, like not this year, not this season, not last season,
not since my
25.
season. Not since 23.
Really?
But I can't remember. No, I can't remember if on 22 we had a vocal tiebreaker.
I don't believe so. I think it's been a long time.
22 was a lot.
Honestly.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's unfortunate.
But yeah, y'all, to wrap it up, it seems like Zach is going regardless. It seems like Vince is staying regardless. And it seems like with Keanu, it depends if he's sitting next to Zach or Vince. So we'll just have to keep our eyes peeled on Thursday on how that's going. And we can slide into our player ratings for the week. All right.
Okay.
Let's get through these mugs because it's 13 of these bitches. No shade. Now, Jimmy did go home last week. We give him an overall rating. Hannah, what would you overall rate Jimmy?
Oh, for like his 4 weeks of gameplay?
His 4 weeks of gameplay. Overall, if you had to give him a rating 0 to 10 as a player, you can do 0.5s if you would like. What would you give him?
I would give him maybe a solid 3.5.
Period.
Yeah.
Period.
I'd give him a 3.5. I think had Mickey not made such a glaringly wrong decision, he would have made it quite a bit of the ways further.
I do agree. I'm going to give him the 4. Honestly, I feel like in a different world, he's higher than a 4. But in this situation, it was like there were things he did that were weird. Mickey made this big mistake, though. It kind of just... It's such a weird situation for him. I don't think he's a bad player. I just think he made slight mistakes, and then his ally is a bad player who took him out.
Yeah, I will say I agree with the 4. It's hard for me to like give him a low score because I feel like he went home because of a stupid ass move that shouldn't have been made. I do think an issue for him would have always been kind of where people saw his loyalty. He was someone that really bounced around. He is a Libra. They do that now. So I feel like his issue would have been trying to figure out essentially where he needed to go in the game and if the people would be able to like trust him and want him further, because he was slightly becoming a target for certain people. Do I think they would have taken him out? Not necessarily, because the people who were targeting him were pretty passive, like Vince and Zach and stuff like that.
Right.
But it just sucks because I would have loved to see him grow as a player within the season. And I think he could have did so much more. But yeah, I think the 4 is accurate.
And I mean, yes, Mickey did make sorry, is it okay if I just add one thing? Like, yes, Mickey did objectively make a bad move for her game. It didn't make any sense at all. But at the same time, like when you go back to week 2, he sent home a number for them. I don't think he did a great job of watering the relationships that he had with Mickey and Morgan. He didn't really do any work to upkeep Triple Threat, their alliance. And so do I think getting out Jimmy was premature? Yes, but I definitely think Jimmy could have circumvented that had he just tried a little harder.
Yeah, I do agree. Last week we had Kat rated last because I gave her a 0.5. This week I feel like she's a lot safer because of the shifts that have been happening and the people who have been targeting each other. I don't think many people are actually targeting Kat anymore. I don't feel like she's playing good. She's not really strategizing with anyone. She's complaining to Rylie about how she's playing her game through him. And that's kind of it. I'll give her the 3 for winning the veto and being safe, potentially, when it comes to her position. Lee?
There's just not much to say about Kat, honestly. I would have loved if she used this veto to gain some type of leverage in the game, and she didn't. I think it just shows that she's not really playing the game, and it does frustrate me. Players like Kat who kind of come in, and I think that she has a slight potential as far as like her understanding of the game. It's just that she's not implementing any of it. So it's really weird. I had higher hopes for her coming into the season, and then now that she's in it, it seems like she's really only worried about what Riley's got going on and things like that. She's not even concerned of trying to be in a solid group, you know? Like I think her and Rylie, they're seen as a unit, and a unit that people don't want to touch, and neither one of them are using that to their advantage. It's really weird. So I'm gonna go with the 3 as well. There's just not much.
Yeah, Hannah.
Yeah, I think you hit everything on the head. I'm going to give her a 5. I don't think she's playing well, but I don't think she's playing poorly. And the same people who wanted to target her as of last week, I think they've kind of shifted their targets. Again, not by her own doing. Like, I don't think anything that she does is active in this game, but it's certainly not hurting her. And she was able to win a veto this season. She was able to win a veto this week. So I'll just give her a 5. I'm very neutral on Kat.
Period. Next is Kelley. Lee, any thoughts?
Prayers. Kelley. The thing about Kelley is she's fading into the background. People are not necessarily as threatened by Kelley any longer. People like her and Keanu have really been able to glide by based on competition wins, and because there are bigger targets kind of jumping in front of them. Like, I do think that they will be perpetual pawns. Like, I think people will still choose to nominate Kelley or Keanu. It's just that I don't think they're actually going to be targeted. And, you know, Kelley has done a good job, I feel like, in reserving herself to make sure that she's not someone getting brought up. You know, she's not volunteering for the block anymore. She's not running around, you know, lying and shit stirring. Like, she's kind of just chilling. But at the same time, she's still not really playing. And I think that's my issue with Kelley. She's, in a way, a non-factor to the actual movement of the game. And to be fair, it's a lot of movement that just barely makes sense. But, like, I just wish she was more involved in that. Because I do think Kelley, other than, like, Keanu, because of how Keanu is, I think he will always make himself a target. Whereas, like, Kelley, I think that Kelley could be in a Lauren position if she just didn't do all that weird shit in the first few weeks. You know what I mean? Like, people are not threatened or worried about Kelley, but because she's already set herself up, it's like she's always going to be that option. And because of that, I feel like I can't go that high, but I'll give her the 2.
Real. Hannah, how you feel about Kelley?
Yeah, I think if we're taking a look at this week alone, I would maybe give her a 4.5 for pretty similar reasons to Kat. She's just been such like an NPC this week. However, if we're looking at her game as a whole, I mean, we can't negate the fact that she has made herself a perpetual pawn, and she has had to rely on competition wins this early on in the season. So I think because of that, I'm going to go ahead and give her a 4.
Real.
Again, we haven't seen much of Kelley this week, so yeah.
She's been invincible. I actually agree with both of y'all. Like, she's kind of neutral, and she could be in a Lauren or so position, but she has set herself up so badly within these first couple of weeks that I can't look at her as an active player. And she's not actively doing shit. She's kind of just there, and she luckily wasn't targeted this week by Ava. When in a way, I kind of feel like maybe Ava, I mean, she could have been on. Who cares? Like, you know, frankly. So I'll give her a 2. No thoughts.
You know, I'm actually gonna amend my ranking just because, like, even though she's been chilling this week, and good on you, Kelley. That's what you have been needing to do. But I negated the fact that she has 0 social capital in this house. None. 0. It's week 5. None. I don't think a single person would bat an eye if she went home. If she won HOH, I think people would be like, who in the world is she aligned with? So I'm going to go ahead and give her a 3.
Real. I know that's right. Next is Keanu. Hannah, how you feel about Keanu?
Your fave.
A 10. Literally a 10.
Oh, please. I'm not even writing that down. Be serious.
Okay, I will be serious. Keanu is such a mess. He's such a mess, but he's so funny to me. For humor, for comedic relief, I give him an 11 out of 10.
Real.
Gameplay wise, I mean, he's on the block yet again. He lost the veto. He could very well be going home in the event that Zach wins the blockbuster. He's someone who, again, doesn't have that much social capital, but I have noticed that he is building social capital from week to week. And I think his veto wins and his guaranteed safety have allowed him to do that. But he's someone who I do see as an active player. He's pulling people aside. He's trying to form groups. Whether or not people trust him, that's their prerogative. Whether or not he's able to keep himself from fighting with someone, debatable. But I'm gonna go ahead and give him. I'm gonna give him a 6 because to
Real.
me, I see improvement in his game, in his social game, and that is really all I can ask for. But
Period.
Keanu for maybe top 3 AFP.
Period.
I do agree with the improvement. I gave him 1.5 last week. I have very little hope for him, but one thing I appreciate about him is, like you said, he is active. This week he's on the block though, and he could go home next to Vince, I believe, and even potentially next to Zach. I don't think so, but he could go home this week. So it's like, but he also could win the blockbuster. He's won so many comps, so he has his pros and his cons. He was able to reprimand his relationships with Rachel, with Kelley, even the Mickey and Morgan thing. He caused them to essentially break up their relationship. He's doing something. He's active. So I appreciate it. I just think he could go home, and I don't like that. I'm going to give him the 2, same as Kelley for this week. And we'll see how he improves when he's not on the block. Lee.
Yeah, because Hannah being a generous queen today, I'm like,
yeah, girl, ain't nobody giving above a 5 this week. No shade.
But that's your fave, so I'm gonna let you have it. But with Keanu, I mean, honestly, I do appreciate the active gameplay as well. He's definitely starting to grow on me. I'm not gonna lie. I saw this fan edit the other day, and I was like, ooh, I was like, wait,
not you a fan.
Where are the Keanu nators, bitch? Can I join? Because he is so funny, and like he effortlessly ends people. Like it's like, are you done?
How long did you have a prompt to come up with that?
Yes.
Like,
don't you have a prompt for me? Wait, no, I believe you have a prompt. Like, this man is sick, but like on the game is just. It's kind of what I was saying earlier about Kelley. Like, he is a perpetual pawn. And the fact that he could go home this week is kind of what I was saying. Like, he's always going to be an option. If he's an option for a nomination, he's an option to go home, you know, and we don't know if it's going to be a 9-person jury or a 7-person jury. You know, we could have about 3 more rounds of this, and they're going to need a 3rd or 4th nom, and Keanu ass is right there, you know? So I think that scares me, you know, a bit. Maybe if it wasn't 3 nominees every week, I would be a little bit more confident in his game, but I just feel like he's always going to be someone that everyone would put up. So I'm gonna keep him at the 3 and see where it goes.
I'm gonna have to change mine then to a 5. I'll change it to a 5 because you're right. I'm gonna change it to a 4.5 because everyone would put him up, and his reads are also so bad.
Yes,
I think I was clouded by my stand-up.
It's okay. You real. We do the same.
I will say I absolutely love his relationship with Rachel. I like this like brother sister like fighting. Because now he's like he went from I hate Rachel, and that was so crazy because it's kind of like poetic in a way. Like I remember in week 1 when Rachel stopped Keanu from being in the back door. Keanu would be out of this game if it wasn't for Rachel Rylie. Okay, and he refused to believe that she was his savior or that she was even helping him out. Like he was convinced that she was against him, and now it's come to this point where he's like, oh yeah, Rachel, she listens to me, she loves me, she doesn't do whatever I want, you know, she doesn't understand the game, but I'm teaching her and she gets it now. It's just like Keanu, even when like he's doing something right, it's like the reads are always going to be
the wrong perspective, baby.
Wherever the fuck he wants them to be. Like it's actually insane.
Next we have Rylie. I don't like Rylie. Gave him a 3 last week because because I don't feel like he's that active. He's like Cat but a man, so people actually like him and respect him, but he's not doing anything for it. He just has a penis. I will give him a 4. His position, I will actually probably give him a 4.5 from position alone. No one will nominate him. Everyone thinks they can work with him, including Rachel and Ashley, including Mickey, including Zach and Vince, including Lauren, including Keanu, including Kelley. Every single person thinks they can work with him. Unfortunately, he will probably be here for a while. Hopefully, we get a way to snipe him out of this game, because if he's the winner, I might jump off a bridge. Lee, thoughts?
Yeah. With Rylie, it's just frustrating. It's like I don't even dislike him for who he is as a person. It's more so just this archetype of player, like the ability to come into this game, get into a showmance, do literally nothing, and be enjoyed by most of the house. It is just like icky, you know. I think he has a general likable personality, and that's what gravitates people towards him. And I remember saying last week, I feel like that is something that he is slightly purposely doing, because we see in these little small ways that he is not the nicest person, but he doesn't show that to everyone. He's very congenial, I feel like, to people's faces. But it's crazy because even last week when he was being openly kind of like irate with them and yelling and cursing, they still kind of got over it. And I do think it's because he'll do that and he'll come back and he's like, man, I don't want to hurt anybody, and I love everybody, and you know, I'm a good person, and they just eat it up. They just eat it up. I don't know why they eat it up. Maybe because this cast is stupid as hell, but they eat it up, and like no one wants to target him. So unfortunately, I feel like I have to give him the 5. Like we're coming into a point where everyone can be a target for some reason, and Rylie seems to not be on that list. Yeah. And I would hate for a reality where Rylie is the winner of Big Brother. However,
even say that.
The more they ignore this showmance, the more people like Mickey is throwing their game away for it. The more they're too scared to even target Kat because they're scared of what Rylie will do. It's like, as of now, I'm like, is he going to be in the end game? And if he's in the end game, is he just going to beast out? And then
that's not it. We think it's too hard. We're going too far. Wait, slow down.
We're going too far. But
let's stay on this week. Week 5.
I have to think of these things now. So when in 2 months when it happens, I'm not pissed the fuck off. Okay.
Yeah. You have to start preparing yourself.
I have to start preparing myself. So that's just my main fear, because no one is looking at him at all, and I'm gonna give him the 5 based on position alone. It's weird because I feel like we thought maybe Zach was that archetype of the season, the one where everyone loves him and he can do no wrong and he's just gonna get to the end. No, Zach can do wrong because Zach almost out the goddamn house this week. But for some reason, Rylie can do no fucking wrong. It's I don't get it.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. Rylie, as soon as I saw his preseason interview, I immediately clocked it. For someone who is genuine. First of all, it's impossible to love every single person you've ever met. What are you talking about? That's not a thing unless you're being disingenuous. So I clocked that right away. And if you constantly have to advertise yourself as a nice person, chances are you're probably not a nice person. Yeah. Who are you trying to convince, me or yourself? Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, Pharaoh Lee, I'm the smartest person you'll ever meet. So I'm so smart. What do I look like, Donald Trump? So I knew that Rylie would be someone I would have to watch because I felt like he would actually be quite explosive and maybe not the most tolerant of other people. Sure enough, I was right. But with that being said, he, for some reason, has managed to miss pretty much all of these house guests. I do think that Ashley is one of the few people who would potentially put up Rylie and Kat and sees the showmance as a threat moving forward. But again, Ashley is not someone who has very much social capital in this game. Yeah. So I am going to give Rylie probably my highest rating of the week. I think I might give him a 7 because people don't see him as a threat. People don't see his showmance as a threat. They're afraid to put him up. They're afraid to touch Kat because of him. They respect him so much. He does, and this is without him even having to try. Imagine if he starts trying. So I think as of right now, either Vince or Riley's going to end up winning this season, and in such a sick way that does kind of feel representative of America. You know, this is the first year post-Trump winning our last election.
Wait. Let's move forward. Please. Okay. Y'all are killing me.
I'm trying to prepare myself. I'm trying to prepare myself.
That's usually the same. Hannah, what's your sign?
I'm a Taurus. I'm a Taurus. What are you?
Oh, Lord. Y'all been pissing me off this month. Child, I'm a Libra. I'm a Libra.
You're a Libra. I'm a Libra moon.
Okay, you feel me? Lee's a Libra moon too. That's why both of y'all have to feel y'all way through why Rylie might win. Stop. We move forward. Will is next. Lee, how do you feel about Will?
Will, Captain Will, my king, my conqueror. I don't know. I don't don't have many thoughts on Will this week. Of course, he was safe with Ava's DHOH. I like that he was a little bit more active in trying to make sure his crew, his people, were safe. As far as Ashley, he's the big reason why Ashley was not the target this week. I do like his little ways of trying to make sure that Ashley and Mickey and things are on the same page. I just don't think that he keeps up with these things. Like I feel like we're at a level right now where Morgan and Mickey is beefing. Rachel and Ashley doesn't like Mickey. Mickey don't like Rachel and Ashley. It's like it's all over the place. And not saying that he should be the one to stand up and get them together and make them orderly again. But like I think for his game, he should want to do that to a certain extent. He should want to keep these people together because the more they separate, I do think that hurts his game a little bit more. He's not really protected with the Rylies, the Kelleys, the Keanus, and things of that nature. Morgan is now talking about nominating him. His protection is really only with Rachel, Ashley, and Mickey, and all three of those people hate each other. So I don't like that he's kind of on a side of the game that isn't even a cohesive side, and he seems to be the more level-headed person, yet he's not, I feel like spreading that throughout the group. And, it's hard because these are some crazy people, and I can't really expect him to even be able to wrangle them in like that. It's just I do feel like that's the position he kind of occupies, but he doesn't go full throttle. I would love to see him talking to more people, socializing more, doing things like that, and I'm just not getting that from Will. Is people saying his name? No. Is he someone that could go home? No, but I do think he's someone that could be easily nominated, especially with 3 to 4 nominations a week. So I'll go slightly up because I feel like this was a good week, and I'll give him, I don't even know, honestly, because I'm so scared about the future. I'll just do a 3.5.
Interesting. Hannah, how you feeling?
So my ranking of Will is going to be much higher. Again, he was a big part of the reason why Ashley wasn't nominated, as you said, Lee. I can appreciate the fact that no one is threatened by him. Part of that is maybe active gameplay on his doing. Another part of that, I think, is just by virtue of his age, his build. People just see him as a non-factor. But at the same time, it's clear that he's disposable to most of these people. I don't think he's an integral part of very many of these people's games, with the exception of Rachel, Ashley, and Ava, and Mickey to some extent. But as you said, that side is very dysfunctional. So I definitely have to rate him higher than Kat, just because Kat's not doing anything. I think I'm going to give him a 6.5. I think he is in a good position where I don't see him going anywhere anytime soon. Do I think he could be doing more? Yes. And that's why he doesn't get my 10. So I'm going to go with the 6.5.
You're real. I'm gonna give him the 5. I feel like he is safe for a long time because of his position. People on both sides genuinely like him, and no one wants to target him. He might get nominated by maybe only Morgan. I feel like only Morgan would nominate him. I don't think other people
think so?
would because Rachel, Ava, Ashley, and Mickey. There's just so many options. I don't think Zach would nominate him. I don't think Vince would nominate him.
Okay.
I think he would maybe be an initial nom.
Even Mickey, I think Ashley, Mickey, Ava. I don't think he will be nominated by more people other than Morgan. Honestly, I think she's on, and I don't even think she'll do it. But also, he's not going home in any of those scenarios because of his gameplay. I also like that he was one of the first people to start not pushing, because he doesn't push, but he mentions Zach. He's like, why does everybody like Zach again? And they're like, I love Zach. I love Zach so much. He's like, why do we like him again? And even this week, Zach wasn't going to be a nominee, and Ashley was going to be a nominee. He helped with that, but he also helped Ava feel comfortable with it being Zach. He always says things like, well, I mean, Zach is with Vince. Remember, we got to remember that. He does a good job at being very ever so slightly influential. I do think he had an influence on these nominees. Also, the reason I put him 0.5 above Rylie is because the people going home this week, way better for Will's game. If Zach goes home, extremely good for Will's game. Like currently, but when Zach or potentially even Keanu, it's like both of these things are good for his game because they're targeting his allies. So I like this week particularly good a lot for Will. He did really good. Okay. Next is
I just want to say you influenced me a little bit. Give him the 4.
Oh,
Because I was the 5 and the 3.5 and the 4. I didn't want to go higher than that because I do have my qualms about the future. Yeah. But y'all got me.
Yes, guys. Yes. Next is, I don't even know who the fuck this is, baby.
Don't do Hold on. Don't do my sister.
Hannah, how you feel about Lee's
Why is she your sister? We haven't seen her since week 3.
Your sister invisible. You got an invisible sister.
Something about Lauren. I don't know if it's the demurity. I don't know if
do this.
I can't her business. I don't know if it's because she's originally from Louisiana. I'm originally from Louisiana. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like that's my Louisiana sister a little bit. Okay. Like, I don't know. Like, and also, because I said this preseason when I picked her for my draft, and I said it right before our HOH week. I was like, something about Lauren is very important about this season. I don't know what it is. I don't know if she's going to be the winner, but I don't know. I could see her being an in-game problem or something. I don't know. And like I said, this is not. I want to be clear. I am Raven Simone. I am not doing this based on anything that we know. Mm-hmm. I just can gaze into the future. That's all I'll say.
Hannah, what would you rate her? Because I don't even have no thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, we just haven't seen Lauren on feeds in the episodes since her HOH pretty much. So there isn't a whole lot to go off of. I think most likely she's going to lose a very big ally this week if Zach goes home. Now, if Keanu goes home, that might be good for her game, just in the sense that she nominated Keanu, so Keanu has reason to put her up. But no one really has Lauren's name in their mouth. She's just seen as the young, sweet Southern belle in the house.
Jordan Lloyd.
Oh, exactly. I sort of see her as but I think her perception is that of Jordan Lloyd. I think she's actually more similar to like a Haley from BB20.
I see that.
Very much so that.
I like when you hear her articulate her thoughts and her theories and her justifications for doing things. She does have she's a good read on the game. And I think she has what it takes to make it very far. I, in fact, think she'll make it very far. I'm going to give her a 5 just because, we haven't seen much from her.
Period. Diva. I'm going to give her the 4. Feel like she won't be targeted for a while and she can make it far, but this is a bad week for her, and it could be a very bad week because Zach claims he didn't use the veto because Morgan would be renommed, but from what we know, he didn't use the veto because Lauren might be renommed, and he didn't know if it was Morgan or Lauren going up. He said that multiple times, and I do think she might lose someone who would have threw their game away for her, which is the best ally you can have. And she might lose him, and she might evict him. She might be the reason he goes home over Vince, and I don't think that's smart at all. I think you should be evicting Vince over Zach. Zach will throw his game away for you potentially, and Vince won't. So I think she's also potentially making the wrong move. If Keanu wins this blockbuster and she evicts Zach and she's the vote that takes him home, she did the worst thing for her game this week, and I can't applaud that at all. So we'll just see. Lee?
Yeah, I think she's in a very precarious situation. I gave her the 4 last week because I feel like she's in a worse situation with her allies on the block. I'll do a 3.5. I don't think she's going to be in any real danger going forward. I would love to see her in this game without someone like Zach, honestly, because I want to see how her game would pivot. Who would she go to? Who would she, actively try to make more in-game connections with? Or would she just sit up and behind Vince all day? But see, I think that not that we're underestimating her, because she hasn't given us much, let's be honest. But the Lauren, Vince, Zach trio, in a way, she pushed for that creation. The reason why these two men are protecting her the way they are, more than Morgan, when Morgan has forced that connection out of nowhere, is because she went up there and made those connections and I think brought them together. I don't think it was something like, so intentional, but she recognized that she wasn't in an alliance. She wasn't prioritized by anyone, and she went and she got prioritized. I think that Lauren would not just lose an ally in Zach and then sit there for the rest of the season. I mean, she could, but I for some reason, I just feel like, I don't know, because she does get the game. She's a fan of the game, and her reads are not terrible. So I don't see someone that would just kind of give up like that. But we'll see. I could be cracked. Look, I've been wrong before. My visions are not always clear. But in 2 months, when we come back and Lauren is the winner of BB27,
why are you saying these things?
Look, I wouldn't mind her the winner.
Wonderful, I would.
And I just want y'all to know. And I just want y'all to know. I said that.
Period.
Listen,
Ashley,
maybe your visions have cataracts. Who knows?
Right? Maybe your vision's getting a little blurry.
I do got some glasses, girl. Child, I can't see.
Next is Ashley. Love Ashley down. Unfortunately, she's been kind of she took a backseat this week on purpose. She was like, I need to slow it down, calm it down. So she hasn't really done much this week. I think the results of this week could be very positive for her. I think her game has improved because now Morgan doesn't want to target her the way she did going into this week. Zach and her reprimanded, and Zach doesn't want to target her the way he did this week.
Diva.
She barely did much, and the little she did was very, very good. I still think she could be nominated. I still think she could be collateral damage. I still think she's in the icky position in a lot of different scenarios because a lot of people still don't love her. But I think her position has improved. I think her allies have also made people more mad at them. Like people who were going to nominate Rachel and Ashley are now saying they're nominating Rachel and Ava, and that's good for her. Or now they're saying Rachel, Ava, and Will, or Ashley, Ava, and Will, and or whatever. And these other people have pissed people off. Mickey's pissed people off. So her position has improved, and she's did a good job. And this week is going to be really good for her because the 3 people on the block hate her. So I gave her a 2 last week. I still think she's in a lot of danger though. So although I like the improvement, I'll just give her a 3.5.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I was agreeing with the 3.5 in my head. Honestly, I was thinking I was going to give her that because even though she does do good work as far as her reads and as far as I think making some of these people trust her more, it's just unfortunately it's not enough to like keep her fully safe. Like I do think she's kind of in the spot of more similar to Keanu and Kelley, where it's like she is an option. Now we haven't seen that option get used, I will say. It's always kind of been talks of her being disliked since the first week, but no one has put her up. Do I think that means no one will? Not necessarily. And I do have a fear if she's on the block, they could easily take her out. However, like you said, a lot of people are becoming targets in front of her. And I think she's doing a good job of fading more into the background and having conversations that will make her less of a target. It's just, I hate, similar to why I hate this with Will, is that she's a part of a group that doesn't have any real structure or real loyalty to each other. And she doesn't have the connections with the other people kind of on the other side enough for me to feel confident in her going far. I do think, I keep saying this, I don't think they're going to be able to get Ashley out anyway, because I really think she's going to be the comp beast of the season. I feel like if they try to start putting her up, she's winning veto again. Baby, she's winning blockbuster. People keep saying, I don't see Ashley winning the wall. Watch Ashley win that motherfucking wall. Watch Ashley win that motherfucking wall.
She has the build to win the wall.
Like, I see it.
She does have a good build. Mean people. Yeah. So, and also, Ashley used to be a cross-country runner. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, period.
Exactly. Brains, beauty, and brawn. I know that's right. So, yeah, no, I would love to see her go far in this game, and I think the way she will is winning competition. So I'm hoping that she has like a mid-game, in-game Mackenzie run where like people find an ally in her based on her compatibility. So, I'm excited for her to keep going in this game. I'm happy that she's safe, and hopefully she keeps going.
Hannah, your sister?
Hello. She gets a 20 out of 10 from
me.
But I agree with everything that you guys said. I think on one hand, her understanding of the structure of the house is phenomenal. Everything that we're thinking on the outside as viewers, she has already clocked. So she is just someone who's very observant. She's very analytical. This is how she's always been. Now, unfortunately, the group that she is loyal to, as we keep saying, they're very dysfunctional. And so I just don't know how stable that is for her to actually gain footing in this house. We've seen her name get floated around by a bunch of players this season. I do think that if someone on the other side wins, she will inevitably go up, even if she's not the target. And then based on the results of the veto, based on the results of the blockbuster, I think if she sits on the block come eviction night, she does go home, unfortunately. So I can't ignore that. I am just going to give her a 5 because regardless of who goes home this week, that is someone who is targeting her. And so I think that's impeccable for her game. I don't think anyone is looking at Ava's HOH like, oh, this was all Ashley's doing and Ashley's this conniving person. No, she's getting off scot-free and still getting the outcome that perhaps benefits her the most out of anyone in this house. So I really like that for her. And again, I'm seeing continuous improvement from week to week. And I love the fact that she was able to have a conversation with Zach, and Zach left that conversation being like, actually, I don't think I want to target Ashley anymore. Like that is gaming right there. So I'm gonna give her a 5.
Period.
I'm just sitting here thinking about when we get to BB30 and Hannah's a doctor and the lawyer, they come and they just make this final 2 alliance and we just get this. I just can't wait.
Yes. No, listen, I'm ready for BB30. They call, I answer. I will take a break from medicine. Absolutely. In a heartbeat.
Period. We would need to see that. Oh my God, Hannah, I need to see you play again.
Period.
I need to see myself play again. I'm just kidding.
Next, we have Flopkin. Lee, how do you feel about her?
Flopkin is crazy. Yeah. Well, she's been flopping all over the place. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
It's just been bad. It's been bad. The thing about Morgan is that she's actively doing things that just pisses people off. You know what I mean? Like she, along with Mickey, has been shifting her targets left and right. When Zach and Vince got put on the block, she spent the entire time sulking with them, not trying to make sure she's not the renom. So much so that Ava recognized that and was like, "Girl, since you're so mad, you can go up next. How about that? Go up next to him." You know, there was almost a possibility. If Zach was not dumb, she would be nominated right now, and she would have a high chance of going home.
Yep.
I gave her the 1 last week. I'm gonna keep her at the 1. I feel like I can't see any improvement because she's actively pissing people off. She's pushing people away. The only people that she has left in this gang really is Vince and Zach, and one of them may leave this week. You know, I see a lot of people nominating her, and honestly, if Vince and Zach are able to make it past this week, she probably leaves over both of them the way she's been acting this week. So I don't see any 10s. Also, too, like Zach telling her about this power. If I was Morgan, I would be like, oh, well, now you definitely have to go, because the idea of Zach staying with that power, if he uses it again, girl, you're definitely going up and or going home. You know what I mean? It's just like. It's I don't understand what her motivation is in this game, really. Like, what is her end goal? Like, who does she want to see herself in the end game with? Because it felt like for a while she was playing for Zach and Vince, and then this week we see a portion of her trying to distance herself, but she's running into brick walls because no one else feel that connection with her. She's been up Zach and Vince's ass, no shade, this entire time for so long that no one else has any real connection with her and want to work with her at this point. So it's just all bad. It's just all bad. And now she wants to win and directly target people like Ava, Mickey, and Rachel and Will and things like that. And I don't think that's smart for her game, especially when you have the showman sitting over here does not like you. Keanu and Kelley does not like you. Lauren don't give a damn about you at all. And you're worried about the other people over here. It's all bad. I'm sorry.
Hannah?
I have nothing to add. I'm also going to give her a 1.
Period. I have nothing to add. I'm also going to give her the 1. Very much so, just that. Next is Zach. Hannah, I expect the score. What is the score you are going to give him?
Okay, well, his position has just, because correct me if I'm wrong, he was your guys' highest rated player besides Vince last week. His position has just dropped so dramatically over the course of a couple days. So that's part of what's so fascinating about this game is it really does change on a whim. It changes on a dime. Zach is very likely going home on Thursday with a power in his back pocket. If that is not the dumbest thing you could do as a player, I think his overconfidence is getting the best of him, his complacency. He was able to ride the middle for a while and he was doing it successfully, and he's a pretty likable, attractive man. And so I kind of expected him to be able to play that role well, but we're coming to a point where you kind of need to make a decision. And he didn't. And people are seeing right through that, especially when you have a vet like Rachel in the house who is able to see things maybe a little clearer because she has a lot more experience. So, with that being said, I'm going to give him a 0.5, and I'm going to give him a 0.5 because he had the opportunity to save himself and he just didn't.
Real.
Yeah. Everything you said, terrible gameplay. He gets a 0 from me. He didn't do anything right this week. Oh. You can give a 0 if you would like.
Oh, I didn't know that. No, I'm not going to be so totally mean.
Oh, okay.
I'll leave him a crumb.
It's a 0 for me. Lee?
Child, it's a hard one because I was thinking of 1, but now I'm like, I should go in a little bit more. Honestly, I just think the downfall of his game definitely started when he flipped on that vote with it was Adrian's vote, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
Not only did you send home Adrian, someone that was feeding you information and would have went to the depths of despair to keep you in this game, you also flipped on a group of people that believed you were working with them, and he did little to no work to try and rectify that action. When you see with Vince, he did go to work, which is why he still has allies in Rylie and Katherine and Keanu and Kelley to an extent. Zach has lost all of those people. They do not like him. And then you have people on the other side that also are not the fondest of him. The people who like Zach the most at this point is Morgan, Vince, Lauren, and Mickey sometimes. And
Rachel, and he wants her out.
And Rachel, and he's not even working that closely with her. So it's like, it's so many issues wrong with his game. And the fact that he was so confident in himself that he felt like he did not need to even use that power. Like, you were potentially going home this week and you were so overconfident that you believed that you had all of the votes. And even if you were confident that you had the votes, why the fuck would you not use the power? You're nominated. You're nominated, sir. I just don't get it. I really don't get it. And I don't think that, honestly, no one has been campaigning that much or that well this season, but I don't think Zach is doing a good job. He's really not. He's going to like the same people and, let me flirt with Morgan. Let me flirt over here with Ashley. Let me talk to Lauren. Let me talk to Vince. I'm like, girl, go make sure you have the showman's votes. Are you talking to Rylie and Katherine? Go talk to Kelley for a second. What is she talking about? Make an alliance with Rachel and them. Make another grouping. Do something. And we're seeing him not doing that because he's always been this very passive player. So honestly, I'm going to give him a 0 too.
Real. Thank you. That man was volunteering to be in the knockout HOA. Please. Next is Rachel. Rachel, Rylie, Lee, thoughts?
Rachel's a hard one because I like some of the things that she does in the game. Like, I love that she started making connection with Keanu. She's making a connection with Zach. She tried to make a connection with the showmans, But then she also does certain things like beefing with Morgan, which I don't think was the best thing to do, only because now Morgan is kind of fully turned on this group. Right. And it's not smart for Morgan, but it's also not best for Rachel's game. She could have kept this kind of Cold War brewing to where, you may not like me, but you still want me in jury, things like that. Now Morgan is not saying that as much, and I don't love that. The thing about Rachel is that she's not going to go off on you and then never talk to you. Rachel will go off on you and then come and talk to you about her life, your life, and you have a good cry session. Like, she's always going to keep trying. So I can see this relationship changing. It's just, I wish she wasn't as reactive as she is sometimes, because a lot of the people who were saying we want her in our jury are no longer saying that. Vince is against her. Zach, I think if he stays, would be swayed to be against her. Lauren would go after her. I think people like Kelley may still, you never really know with Kelley, but she might still. Rylie and Katherine may go after her. I think there are options. Even though she's trying to build these connections, I don't think that they're actually solidified, really. And that scares me for Rachel because, she's starting to become an option for a target. And I do think if she's nominated and is on the nomination block coming Thursday, she's one of the last 2 people up there. I think she could go home. I don't really know the votes right now in my mind, but depending on who she's next to, I could see a world in which she goes home. And I think it is because she is playing hard in certain areas, but then, by the end of the week, it's always like, well, we still want Rachel in our jury. So I really don't know. As of right now in the game, I feel like if certain people she could win the HOA, she could be a head target, but not for most people. I don't know. It's so weird. I think that she is getting a good outcome this week for the most part. It's not her favorite outcome, but if Keanu leaves, it's no longer a good outcome. And that is a possibility. If Zach leaves, it's not the best because she's working on their relationship. What she wants is Vince out. And Vince leaves in almost no scenario. So that kind of shows the influence that she has overall in the house. I think I'm gonna just keep it at the 3.5.
Oh wow.
Hannah.
Okay.
Oh, you making it? What's your thoughts, Queen?
I was gonna go a little higher. I am feeling quite generous. I sort of see her as occupying a very similar niche as Ashley. Good reads. She was able to clock Vinny's position in the house and kind of expose that. But as you said, Vinny's most likely not leaving on Thursday. And so, yeah, that's just a testament to she was able to be part of what influenced Ava to get Vinny on the block. But now that Vinny is an option, he's on the platter for these people, no one's eating. So, with that being said, I'm going to have to go with a 6. Just because I think she's in a better position than Ashley. I don't think people necessarily have Rachel at the top of their mind for who they want to go home because, yes, Rachel's been fighting with people, but also bigger targets have emerged, such as Morgan, Mickey, Zach, if he stays. People are looking at Vince, etc. With Rachel, though, I don't know if I would have engaged in that fight with Morgan. I would let these people continue thinking, yeah, take me to jury. If jury is, 3 weeks away, 4 weeks away, yeah, keep me in the game for that long. Instead of being like, no, I'm either going home now or I'm going to be sitting in those final 2 chairs. Well, none of these people want you sitting in those final 2 chairs. So have you kind of given them permission to put you up and send you home? I mean, you kind of asked for this. So that's not what I would have done. But overall, I love the evolution in Rachel's game. I really do have to give her flowers because she has come back around exactly 15 years later. And we're seeing a whole new player. She has not had competition wins to fall back on. Like her game has been entirely social and entirely strategic, which are not things that we've seen from her in the past. And she's doing a good job. So I have to give her flowers.
Period. Yeah. It's hard with Rachel because I feel like she does things that help her game, like reprimand her relationship with Zach. And then she does things that kind of hurt her game. Mickey knows she doesn't like her because Rachel kind of mugs her every time she looks at her. She looks at her with disgust. Now Mickey's kind of advocating against her. Vince knows how much she dislikes her. And then she popped off on Morgan. It's like you do these things socially that piss people off, even though she's a really socially good player when she gets down to it, because she made a final 3 with Keanu and Kelley, and now Kelley kind of feels a little better about her, and she didn't rat that conversation out like she did every single other one. So you have to assume that Kelley actually genuinely does kind of feel better about Rachel finally after years of her trying. But then again, it's like, what the fuck is a Kelley and Keanu? It's like you got the likability of 2 people with no social capital, and you lost the likability of 2 people with a lot of social capital, even though they're crack. Choose your battles, Queen. So I don't love it for her. She could still be a target. I think I got to keep it at the 3.5 as well, unfortunately.
Okay.
Damn. Yeah.
I think I'm just scared. I'm scared for everyone on that side of the game. Will, Rachel, Ashley, and even Ava at this point, because they're not unified enough as a unit. And even though the other side isn't, they're not looking at each other. While everyone on this side is kind of pointed towards each other. Yeah. And it's like, even though Rachel and Ashley have 2 of the best reads this season, they can't do much with them because
they can't do shit about it. She's about to be on the wrong side of this vote for 3rd week in a row. You're on the wrong side of the vote every week. How is that? She's the only one evicting Vince. No one else, not the only one, but she's gonna be evicting Vince. No one else is. You're wrong. You don't have the votes again.
She don't give a damn either. That's why.
And she don't care.
That's why I love her. And that's why I love me some Rachel, because she is not gonna give a damn. She's gonna go off on you. She's gonna call you out. She's gonna ask why you're not respecting her motherfucking time. Period. And that I do live for.
Next is Vince. Hannah, how you feel about Vaughn?
Well, okay, I thought he was in a much worse spot as of yesterday, and now it doesn't seem like that's the case. So for him to be targeted by Rachel, who's a legend, and then potentially be able to kind of skate by, that to me is impressive, and that is because of the relationships that he has really worked to build. The only person that's not working on, or I guess the only 2 people, Rachel, Will, I loved their DRs, Will being like, why is he crying? That was so funny to me on Sunday's episode. But Vince, I'm gonna have to give A 5-2. No, I'm gonna have to give Vince maybe a 4.5,
Yeah.
only because he's on the block. But even still, we don't really think that he's going to be leaving. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys
Yeah.
think?
I'm gonna give him the 4. I agree with everything you said. I'm gonna give him the 4 just because of the block, him being on the block thing. I don't think he's going home though, and I think it's because he's such a good player. I think Vince is the best player this season, which says a lot because man. But yeah, I agree. I think he's in a good position. He hasn't done much this week because he's on the block, but he's maintained the people who want to keep him. He's maintained them wanting to keep him. And that's more than any of the other two have done, actually, because Keanu has people pissed off at him now, and so does Zach. So there you go. Lee, how you feel?
My only thing with Vince is that I would like to hear less of the sulking and a little less of the whining.
Oh, clock him.
Clock him. Getting to work. You know what I mean? However, he does go to work in his little ways. Like the fact that so many people want to keep him in this game is due to his good work socially. Like I think him being so agreeable and him, not afraid to beg and plead for someone's loyalty has really helped him up until this point, to where people like Rylie are like, I just love you so much, man. I'm never gonna take you out of this game and things like that. Keanu, no matter how much information Keanu hears about Vince, he always brings it back to Vince, and he's still willing to work with him. Kelley has her feelings about Vince, but I feel like even Kelley would still be connected to Vince in some way. He has Lauren. He has Zach if he stays. He still has Morgan. Mickey is sometimey, but he has Mickey to an extent, And there are people in this game who would still look at him as a target, like a Rachel, maybe an Ashley still, maybe Will. Ava, but these people don't have a lot of pull. They don't even control the votes this week, and they were in power. So it's like he isn't in that much danger, especially if he's able to get out of this week. Now, unless these next few HOHs go Rachel Ashley type shit, which I would live, he's going to be in danger if that happens, but I still don't think he goes home necessarily. But that's not even that plausible. So I can see a world where Vince gets off the block and he fully bounces back. And even though he's nominated this week, the fact that he's kind of staying in any scenario is insane. Like I think the hardest scenario is next to Keanu, but even then, like we talked about it, the votes seem to lie in his favor. So I think overall, I'm gonna give him the 4.5 as well. I feel like there's no way Vince is leaving this week. I'd be gagged if he did, and I don't see him really being a target going forward for too many people.
Yeah.
Ooh, not this girl. Next is Mickey. I'm gonna have to give Mickey. So Mickey's doing a lot. We actually already talked about all the shit she was doing. All of that extra telling Keanu this and this, making this other alliance, replacing Rachel with Katherine and Rylie. Her reads are awful. Like she thinks Rylie and Katherine love her so much. They're kind of like meh. She thinks Keanu is someone who she can work with. He's throwing her under the bus. She didn't even know. She got told about it by Morgan. Now she's after Morgan, but she really shouldn't be, because Morgan's kind of like, well, I don't think I'll actually be after Mickey. I just kind of, she took out Jimmy last week. It's just, God damn it. It's terrible. It's terrible gameplay. Rachel doesn't like her anymore. Rachel and Ashley kind of talk mess about her now. Will and Ava are kind of like, she doing a lot. Like everyone knows she's doing so much. If she's ever on the block, she could easily go. A few people will nominate her. I think that's the positive, is that because she has her hands in so many pots, people don't feel like they should nominate her. So I don't think she will be nominated by a few people, but maybe like a Kelley, maybe like a Keanu, maybe like a Kat if she asked Rylie first, like maybe a Lauren. But it's like, that's kind of it. Everyone else in a way might not do it because they feel tied to her. So that's her positive. It's just she's playing so badly everywhere else. I just can't award it. Like I don't want to give her anything. I'll give her a 2.5 for maybe not being targeted by certain people. That's it. I just don't like it. Lee?
I feel the same way. I think that even though her position is definitely good to an extent, however good your position could be in this house, it's up there. And I do think she's one of the more socially connected people. Like, even though Rachel and Ashley have their qualms with her, they're not dumb like her. So they're not going to put Mickey on the block when they have other people to worry about. Neither is Ava, neither is Will. And then honestly, I don't know why she wants this relationship so bad with Rylie, but she spends a lot of time talking to Rylie and Katherine. And while they've expressed that they don't like what she's doing in the game, I don't think they nominate her. which is also
Mm-mm.
interesting. Now, Kelley and Keanu, I think they might. Keanu, maybe not after today, but he still actually might. And I don't see Zach, Vince, or Morgan doing it either. Even though she just beat with Morgan, I don't necessarily see Morgan putting her up.
Morgan wouldn't do it.
So she seems to be safe with a lot of people. It's just that she actively does things that takes her out of good grace with people. She shares too much information. She switches her targets every 5 seconds. She paints targets on her own allies, and then she tries to walk it back. And of course it doesn't work because she's been shit talking them for days. It's just she's not consistent at all. She doesn't have like a linear path in her game, and it doesn't seem like most of it is coherent. It's more so whatever she's thinking in the moment, she's gonna run with, and if she needs to switch it up, she's gonna switch it up. Now, like I said, as a person, because I know a lot of people have been discussing her as a person, I think for me, I'm gonna just see this comedic relief. No shade. It's just every once in a while you have a good laugh, and she just gives me a good chuckle from the bottom of my soul. One thing about her, she's gonna go off. She's gonna turn on her allies. She's gonna talk her shit, and it's gonna be what they do with this. Now, I don't agree with bringing up families and children. Keep the children out of it, Mickey. Because a lot of Rachel stands were on her ass, but. I also seen people comparing her to Daniel Durston, to some of the other people in the BB24 cast. I don't think that, I think a lot of people, when they're disliking someone on TV, they try to attach it to other things. And I don't think it gives that. Like, I've seen a lot of people compare reality TV villains to like Donald Trump. And I'm like, I wouldn't compare these people to Donald Trump. Like, that's a really hard one. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, like, people in BB24, they were being colorist, they were being racist, they were being sexist, they were being all of these things. And I don't think Mickey's doing all that. Mickey's a mean girl. We can say that. You're a mean girl, Caddy. She's the Regina George. And honestly, it doesn't make me hate her. It just makes me, I'm turned off a little bit, but I don't hate Mickey. Honestly, I'm gonna be real. I'm black. It's hard for me to hate a black woman. It's just not gonna happen that much. So, that's my general thoughts on her personally. As a gamer, I think for a score, I'll give her the 2.
Real. Hannah.
Yeah, again, we've seen so much worse in this game. Hello, Jackson Mickey won season 21. Like, I think it's recency bias. Why are we comparing her to Daniel Durston? She's nothing of the sort. However, has gone to work to make sure that her game is blown up over these last 2 weeks. I can't remember the last time I've seen someone just fall from grace so hard.
Right.
But like you pointed out, Lee, I don't know if she's anyone's target. I think she's definitely on people's radar. I think she has soured her relationships with others. Her reads are not accurate. She is probably seen as maybe like a labile, unreliable player because she keeps switching her targets and you don't know where her head is at because her head's in a different place Monday at noon than it is Monday at 12:38 p.m. So I think I'm going to go ahead and give her a 3. I still think Mickey makes it to jury. Their whole goal this season. I see her making it past the halfway point. However, she just keeps falling in the ranks from week to week, and it is really hard for me to get behind her deciding to evict Jimmy last week and then her continuing to stick by that decision. Like, how do you not realize that hurt your game? That just goes to show she just doesn't have the most accurate grasp of the house.
Yeah. All right. Last we have Ava. Hannah, what are your thoughts on Ava?
Yeah, Ava, I love the fact that she was super bold this week. She was like, listen, I don't care. I'm going to nominate 3 people, 3 men at that, who have all won competitions. And if you want to come for me, okay. I really respect that because I think way too often we see timid players who are able to rock the boat, especially against the people who have won competitions in the last, 4 weeks. So that definitely gets my respect. I don't think she's in a bad position. I do think that people are looking at her a little more now because she was bold with her nominations. Whereas before, I don't think anyone saw her as someone who was playing the game. She was a non-threat. She was an NPC, but she was still an enjoyable presence. So people wanted to keep her in the game. I think now, at the very least, she goes on the block as an option if someone from the other side wins. But I don't think she goes home in really any scenario as of right now in the game, unless she's sitting next to Will. Then I think she would go home. But what I would have liked to see her do a little more this week is work on building relationships instead of saying, no, I'm going to talk to the people I want to talk to and don't bother me. Because that is supposed to be one of the main goals of an HOH. Yeah, you can get out one of your targets, or you can at least put them up. The house gets to decide who gets to go home. But something that you can do that no one else can do is you have guaranteed safety. And so leverage that. And she just didn't. So for that reason, I think I'm going to have to maybe give Ava a 6.
Real. Lee, how you feeling about Ava?
I think my thing with Ava is I did not like how she, used this HOH. Kind of like how you just mentioned, I do think that there's some leverage she could have gained with this power, and she really didn't use it. She kind of got herself caught up and her allies caught up in mess because she only spoke to them the entire week. And then when she spoke to the nominee, she really couldn't give a real reaction, which made people think that, of course, her decision is being influenced by someone else, which I also don't love because if we get deeper into this game, are they going to respect you, or are they going to see you as someone that can be easily manipulated and easily swayed? I just don't love that. Also, I don't love how she started this week. Vince is her target, and Vince does not have the votes to even go home. And that's particularly because she hasn't done no work in trying to get votes to even go against that man. Like, you can't put people on the block and then say you want to have a target and then not do any work to get that target out. And it doesn't, I will say, I guess it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, she wanted a big shot. She wanted 3 million on the block. She's getting it. One of those people will be going home. It's just, I feel like she really, truly hasn't done much to gain anything in this game. You know what I mean? If anything, she lost some social capital, and I don't love that. People like Rylie and Katherine are saying they don't like her. People like Morgan is nominating her now. Zach and Vince are against her now. Like, she made enemies when she had none. And I guess you could say maybe she should have just thrown HOA. She should have made sure Will got that motherfucker. I don't know. But it's like, she was in a position where no one saw her as a threat and no one wanted to go after her. And now people want to at least nominate her. I agree with you, Hannah. I don't think she's someone that would be targeted, especially because there's so many people in this game. And I do think that she is, I guess the word I'm looking for is receptive enough to maybe adapt, especially if certain people start going home around her. It's just, we know she's not the biggest fan. We know she hasn't necessarily been that involved. And after seeing this week, I just have a feeling that her overall understanding of the game is just on a lower tier than a lot of people playing it. And she doesn't seem to be as just really involved within the gameplay. And I do think it's going to hurt her in the long run. I gave her a 4 last week. I'm going to just keep it at the 4 because I don't think she did really anything to improve on it.
Yeah, I do agree with the 4. I feel like she was going to, I do think busting open this structure is good, but she went from being in the middle to now choosing a definite side. So now she's actually a nominee with Rachel. She was actually never a nominee before this week. It was always Rachel and Ashley, potentially Morgan, we don't like her, potentially Will as a pawn. It was never, ever, ever Ava. Now it's Rachel and Ava. Now it's Rachel convinced Ava of doing this. And also, she made it clear who her allies were. Everyone was like, well, obviously Ava, Will, and Mickey have a final 3. Because they're up each other's ass all week. And that's not good either, because even if they don't target Ava, they might be like, well, Mickey and Will are her closest allies. Let's put them up and target one of them. Or let's target Rachel because she's cool with her. And it's like, those people shouldn't be targeted for you. Those aren't good people to be on people's radar. And because you made the shot at this big group and then you kind of showed who your allies were, they might shoot at them. And that's not good either. I just feel like she didn't necessarily play it in the best manner this week, so that's why I'm like, I can't reward you. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna have to change mine. Is that okay?
Oh, damn. What you changing it to?
No, 5.
Because
you guys are so right. She was not the right person to win HOH this week. Now, granted, she only played in like 1 or 2 rounds.
She just never got chose. Which was an indicator of her position. She never ever got chose. And then now her position, like if we did another knockout, she would get chose for next to Rachel and Ava. Like she would get chose. And it's like, that's less good.
Hold the hell up on.
Order, child.
This list look a fucking fool.
Doesn't it look
top of this damn list? The top of this damn list.
The top 5 on this list, y'all, are Rachel Rylie,
Which, I mean, first of all, her score is a 4.3. Like, these scores are the lowest they've ever been in the history of us doing scores. Like, these are terrible scores. Vince is in top 4 and he's nominated. Ava's in top 3 and we just drug her a little bit. And then top 2 are Will and Rylie. I genuinely think, honestly, this week, I was like, I think Will is going to win the game. I think Will and Rylie are going to win the game because of how everyone else is playing, not necessarily because they're playing good, but because everyone else, they're just gonna fuck themselves up. They're gonna fuck themselves up and fuck themselves up and fuck themselves up and fuck themselves up. And then when up at the end, I feel like Rylie has a better shot at that because of the comp thing, which I don't want to happen, but I would prefer it to be Will. But I'm like, one of them, honestly, unfortunately, I don't think this is that inaccurate. Will and Rylie being the top 2, I don't think it's that inaccurate. I think they have the best chance right now to win the game.
Wait, please take a picture of this, because imagine that this is like the boot order and we just
no, for real
predicted it.
Literally, somebody screenshot this. It really could be.
Because Sari came in 5th. Imagine if Rachel comes in 5th.
Oh, that would be
poetic. Kyland went out in 4th.
Yep.
Vince, I could kind of see that happening. I could absolutely see Ava kind of getting the Victoria treatment, getting the boot.
Honestly, if Rylie, Will, and Ava are top 3, Rylie would choose Will over Ava probably.
Yeah.
It probably literally would happen like that.
Can we stop talking about that reality? I don't live in that.
I think Will will win. Will, can we just agree that Will wins, please?
Well, Will is my winner pick. Will is my
winner pick. My winner pick too.
Yes.
Period. Yes, y'all, that was it.
Okay.
Period.
That was so fun.
Thank you, Hannah. Where can the girls find you if you want them to find you? Because some people don't want them to find you.
Sure. My Instagram is just first name, last name, Hannah Chaddha. My Twitter and my TikTok are Hannah_Chaddha. Honestly, follow me on Twitter /X because that is where I post most of my Big Brother related thoughts and ideas. I guess follow me on Instagram because there are some exciting announcements coming out soon.
Ooh.
And follow me on TikTok for dancing.
Period. Also, get into us every single Tuesday, every single Wednesday, every single Thursday. We have Big Brother content coming to you. Of course, every Tuesday we do our live feed recap and player rating. Every Wednesday we do our TRK after show, and every Thursday is our eviction breakdown. This week our TRK after show guest is Derek Levasseur. So make sure you send in your questions to him using #KingdomSpeaks, and I will be speaking with him tomorrow about this season and a lot of other stuff. So make sure you get into that and send him your questions. Use Blue Sky, use Twitter, do whatever at us. Anything you need to do to get the question in, send your questions in for Derek. Appropriate questions for Derek. And thank you, Hannah, for being here, and thank you guys for keeping it real with the kingdom, baby. We're out. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.